Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Brendan. Happy to have you with us. And in the middle of this coronavirus crisis, under all the self-isolation, I am continuing to do this video series of work that you can do by yourself, on your back, with your car up on jack stands on your driveway. So I've got a few projects I'm working on. We left the Corrado last week, where we had finally gotten it fully registered, smogged, everything working except for the air conditioning. Now I'm holding off on the next step on that for right now, just because of the social distancing stuff, and I've got enough other projects to keep me busy. But where we left that was the AC held vacuum just fine. I've replaced every component of the AC system, which does not mean that I've done it correctly. So it's a holding vacuum, but it's not holding pressure when I start to charge it up. So there's a leak somewhere in the system. I do not have the proper equipment to test for it, and I don't really feel like crawling underneath there at night with a UV lamp trying to find it. So I'm going to take it to a shop and have them diagnose it, and then we'll take the next steps from there to probably have to swap out an O-ring that didn't seal correctly, is what I'm guessing. Other projects we have ongoing. My daughter's Jetta, Jetta. We went to go fire her up the other day and found out that the battery tender had had a meltdown. So that was exciting. I was able to resuscitate the battery that was in it. I only bought that a year ago, so it's really fresh. And doing a little bit of Googling around on YouTube, I found that by simply putting it on a very slow trickle charge, you could probably restore a battery even if it had been drained to the point this one did. This one was all the way down to 0.1 volts. It was dead. But I put it on a 2 amp trickle charge for 2 days, and it's back to holding 13 volts, so we are in the clear. It seems like it's going to be just fine. That being said, that car, it's a 2001. It's got 228,000 miles on it, and it does need some love and attention. Now I've got 3 years before my daughter will be driving that car, so I've got a little bit of time on my hands. But my brother is coming to town in a few months, and he is probably going to want to drive it, so I'm going to want to make sure that's in pretty decent shape for him. It's drivable, everything works, AC works, so no worries there, but there's always little stuff that you can do. One of the things that I suspect is that there is a slow drain somewhere in the electrical system. So today I am going to take the multimeter and go fuse by fuse through the system and figure out which circuit has the drain on it. And it may be related to the central locking, which is not working great. It may be related to one of the window regulators or window relays, because one of the windows is not working great. So I'm going to get to that first. And let's see, is there anything else I was going to get to today? I think that's enough to keep me busy for one day. So between those two things, we've got some footage to film, and then we'll see where we land there. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, we're going to turn our attention back to the Jetta project, which is my daughter's car. Those of you who are into cosplay, you may know her. She's been cosplaying since she was about 4 years old, or she's known as Littlest Jedi on Instagram and, well, any social media really. So this is her car. She's not driving it yet because she's not old enough, but we've been working on it, and it's been an ongoing project. It runs. But it seems to have a battery drain, so we're going to try to trace that down. Now, I've got my suspicions because we've got a broken window regulator, and I suspect that maybe a micro switch having to do with that is not completely cutting off, and it might be doing a slow drain. There is also a problem with the central locking system. Not all the doors lock and unlock. Again, it's the same door as the one that has the window regulator problem. So there might be a wiring issue there, it might be a short, might be something going on. I don't know, but that's what I suspect is probably happening here. So we're gonna use our multimeter, and first of all, we're gonna make sure that the battery is fully charged before we go looking for our amperage issues here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just check it, make sure that we have all right, 12.72 volts, which is great. I did have it on a charger, and we've left it disconnected, so there isn't any reason that it would have decharged right now, but we're gonna be using the multimeter set to, we always set it to the highest amperage setting when you're first starting with this, so you don't accidentally burn out your multimeter, or you know, if there's some major issue, you'll be aware of it before magic smoke starts popping out of everything. But we're going to go ahead and start on the negative side of the battery and connect one of the probes from the multimeter to the negative terminal, and then we'll connect the other side to the well, to the car side of it, and again just gonna clamp it on to the negative side here so we have a good connection from the probe. And all right, so what we're looking for here, and I may reverse these so we're dealing with positive numbers, not negative. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So get this in here and negative side of the probe. When you're dealing with one of these modern Volkswagens, it's important to know that when you first hook it up, there is going to be an immediate surge because you're connecting the battery and the electronics, and there are a few things that are going to go through a startup procedure, so there will be a quick initial draw. So you might see a draw of up to an amp right off the bat, but then it should, within about 10 seconds, it should taper down, and that'll give you your reading of what's actually happening in here. And when we look here, we're getting a reading of 0.38 amp draw, which is definitely a lot more than what we want. Now what we really want is, might be 0.05 that we're looking for, so this might be a pretty big draw. But what we're going to do is we're going to remove fuse by fuse and look to see when this number drops, and then we'll know what is causing a draw, because even 0.37 amps is kind of high in my opinion. I want it to be a lot lower than that, so we'll check for that. There are a couple of fuses right here on top of the motor. Now these have to do with headlights, if I recall, so I would be very, very surprised if pulling these changes the number at all, but we'll go ahead and start with these. There are also some fuses under there. We'll do those as well, just to see, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, I just popped a look in the car, and the factory fuse puller tool is missing, so I'll just have to do this hard way. All right, so pulled one, no change. Put that one back. I may actually just go grab a set of needle nose pliers to make this easier. No change. Put that one back. And I'm not expecting anything out of these three fuses here. Yeah, nothing. So these are not our issues. So I'll put those back, cover it up. Well, while I'm doing this, oh, there it is. That was our culprit. Found it. So that one, I figure out, third row over, it is, looks like the dome light circuit. Very interesting, because the dome light's actually not even on. It's set to 0, but there's a fault with it. All right, well, now that I know there's an issue with the dome light, I can be happily just not using it, I guess. And we'll go ahead and, actually looking at the back ones, The back ones were off as well. Well, that brings us down to 0.05, which is normal. That's exactly what we want, is that level of a normal draw, 5 milliamps. So I guess it's not technically a milliamp because that's 100th of an amp. But anyway, that's spec. That is normal. I'm going to keep going through just to see if there might be anything else causing us issues. This one should be the, oh, I see, there's a very small drain with the cigarette lighter. Oh, that's because we have some USB stuff plugged into it. So I wonder if I unplug that. Aha, and I think I have another one in the back seat. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I guess I'll have to access it from the trunk, but I do have those two things going there. So I guess if you've ever wondered if you have a USB power connector on your cigarette lighter, so did that, oh, that also knocked it down another 1/10 of an amp. So I have a USB power connector plugged into both the front and the trunk positions, which, you know, it's negligible, but they are drawing power constantly, even if nothing is plugged into it. Just the little unit itself is drawing power. So just FYI, you might want to be aware of that. That could be an issue for you. Great. Well, then I think we are in good shape. We've identified the battery drain, we've removed that fuse for now, and we will have to deal with these dome lights. Fortunately, it's a really common piece to find at the junkyard, and if I can just replace that whole assembly and not even have to spend time diagnosing, it probably cost me $3 for this stupid thing. So I will leave the extra fuse off to the side. There's a little spots in here. For those who have not gone diving into their fuse box before in a Mark IV, you're probably blessed souls for never having to deal with that, but let me find it right here on camera. So right in here, there are actually some extra spots off to the side where you can put extra fuses. So just plug it in there, and you can come back to it later. There's nothing they're just blanks, and it's for you to keep spares. So I'm going to keep that in there, lock it away, and we'll be good for now on this. I can hook the battery back up and put the car back into storage or drive it. But the next project on this is actually going to be this driver's side door, which, as I mentioned, the window regulator is bad. Not only the window regulator, but the central locking doesn't work. So I can use the key and lock it and unlock it. My fob will unlock and lock the rest of the doors perfectly, but this one's just got issues. The door is cheap enough at a junkyard that I could probably just buy everything that I need. I will probably get a brand new window regulator because they're only like $30. But I'll be delving into that as the next part of this project to get it ready for my daughter to start driving it. Again, I've got a lot of time on my hands there. Although my brother is coming to town, he's moving back from Seattle, and he might need this to drive. So it'd be nice to have everything functional for him. So let's see, anything else? Well, I would love to pull apart the Corrado and get that condenser out, but I am going to double check the weather report right now and see what that actually looks like. If it is going to cut it too close, I'm just going to wait until we have a clear day. Now, one thing about San Diego weather reports is if there's a chance of rain, it is definitely going to rain where I live, up here in the foothills. Well, it's saying that it's not going to start raining until about 8 o'clock tonight, and it's only 2:30 in the afternoon now. So maybe I'll give it a whirl and take that apart. Let's dive into it.